What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over Gray Zone Warfare. These are going to be my first impressions of the game. But before we get into that, I'm going to go over some housekeeping stuff. I am actually not focused as much on gaming as I thought I was going to be, simply because my firearm channel has kind of taken off on me. I kind of took off out of nowhere, so I'm still trying to figure out how to keep that thing going, keep it growing. And being a firearm instructor, I do find that I do enjoy making that content. I do enjoy video game content. However, when I play video games, I feel lazy. I don't want to go do other things. I'm too focused on getting achievements done in video games where, I end up not going out to do stuff. I don't go to the gym or whatever. I don't know if it's necessarily me or just video games in general kind of put me in that kind of weird state. But I'm not focusing on video games nearly as much as I thought I was going to. I'm also trying to focus more on my Doane Motorsports channel. I have a 2020 Scat Pack charger now, which is kind of why I started that channel to begin with. Was I had a police charger and wanted to make content with the police charger. However, I never got around to it. I had two police chargers, both of which got totaled. So I took that as a sign, and I took a hiatus from the car content, and now I'm trying to bring it back. So cars, guns, and video games, those are my passions, and that's what I'd like to bring for y'all on YouTube for y'all's entertainment. But without further ado, let's get up into the game. I'm really loving this game. Even with my lower end PC specs, basically I play on a laptop. My laptop specs are, I have a 12th gen i7. It says 2.3 gigahertz. So it may not be the strongest CPU. I do have 32 gigabytes of RAM on this laptop. I'd like to put more, but yeah. Anyways, and I'm also running a 3050 Ti laptop graphics card, so that may play into the lower quality that I'm getting with this game. I would very much like to play it in higher quality, just because in lower quality it is harder to see things at distance. It's also a little grainy and kind of gross. I also can't play on anything above 1080p, so take that for what you will. I'm going to try to upscale this video for YouTube just so it looks better for y'all on y'all's end. However, I don't know how well that's going to work. But getting into Gray Zone. Gray Zone is a hyper-realistic survival shooter. It's very similar to Escape from Tarkov. It's actually like Escape from Tarkov, Arma, and DayZ had a kid. This would be the outcome. And so, if you like those kind of games, or any of those games you enjoy playing, you might enjoy playing this game. Unlike Tarkov, where you have to load into each raid, this is a continuous server type game where if you want to load into your, or I say load in, but if you want to go to your area of operations, you hop on a little bird and you get on a line and you fly to your area. And I believe there's a running joke. I don't know if it's actually legit, but there's a running joke saying there's a 6-minute flight from one end of the map to the other. I have not personally tested it out, so I don't know if that's legitimate or not, but this map is gigantic, and there's so much room for activities. I don't know if they already have this, but earlier I jumped on a flight with some random guys that I met in the game, and we went to do some PvP stuff closer to one of the other factions' base, or their city, their starter city. And when we were on our way there was a lot of dead space. Like, I would like to see a lot more patrols from the AI. Put AI patrols out there and kind of make it harder for us to just kind of meander into their base. I don't know if that's something that y'all have already implemented or something that is planned to be implemented, but that would be cool to see, just so that it makes it more of a challenge to get into the starting bases and that sort of thing. Um, that's just kind of a me thing. Nothing too serious about the game. The gunplay in this game is fantastic. Definitely, my opinion may not be yours, but in my opinion, the gunplay is fantastic. Even with my low settings and stuttering and everything going on with my laptop setup, I still find the gunplay to be very entertaining, very fun. I actually look forward to the gunfights. I'm not sure. I think Tarkov may have been trying too hard for the realism and the recoil and everything. It just made the game feel clunky and weird. Um, the gunplay in this game, the guns are very simple to use, and it seems like your operator actually knows how to use a gun. At least when you're shooting. Now, they may add something further into the game that is like a skill-based thing where you're not when you start, you're not a, high-tier PMC and you gotta work for it. I would like to see that because I like the skill-building games where you've got base skills where you have to kind of build on those, like your endurance, your strength, weapons handling, that sort of thing. I will say this, that the reload animation is very slow when you're out of ammo. They don't really have an emergency reload for the game. They just have one standard reload, and it is very slow. Even if they just made like oh, you're empty, you go into an emergency reload, or if you're out or you're not out completely, you do a tactical reload or a reload where you save that ammo. It would be kind of a cool little addition to the game. However, I do understand why they did that, because you still want to hold on to those magazines as you go, and you don't want to just be dropping magazines all over the place if you don't have to. I understand. Tarkov had a system where they double tapped for a emergency reload, and you drop that empty magazine and you go. I like that system. It worked, but it did also make it harder to bind for a controller. And as a controller player, this game is fantastic. It was very easy for me to bind it to a controller. I use a PlayStation 5 controller, and I emulate a mouse and keyboard with it, and it made it very easy. But yeah, back to the gunplay. The way they have the ballistics in this game is very, very cool. I like it a lot. Essentially, if you don't know, each bullet has its own wound channel in real life and in this game. And each bullet does have a different wound channel. They have your permanent cavities and your temporary cavities. Basically, the energy from the bullet or the tumbling of the bullet may cause a temporary cavity that's much larger than the permanent cavity of the bullet. And this game, they kind of tried to emulate that. If you're using a open tip bullet or a soft tip bullet, you may notice that you're able to drop unarmored enemies with one shot, even to the chest. Essentially, the way they have it set up is in that permanent cavity or the temporary cavity. If that temporary cavity touches a vital organ, it will cause the enemy to go down. Whether or not how realistic that is, I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, super easy. I've always wanted a game with this type of damage. The Call of Duty style damage is lame. I just don't like it. Even Tarkov's damage is a little wonky. Movement mechanics in this game, I really like the movement mechanics. I haven't been able to test it all that much just because my game is not optimized and I'm laggy and jittery and everything, so it's hard to kind of talk about. But the healing system in the game is very deep. However, it is easy to understand with simple first aid knowledge. Basically, a bleeding, you use gauze or bandage. Heavy bleed, you use a tourniquet. Blood loss, you use a blood pack. As long as you're not hemorrhaging and you're not bleeding, you will continue to slowly regenerate. blood. The visuals in this game are fantastic. However, my system being a lower end system, it doesn't do a good job of showing that. There are plenty of other people on YouTube who have great systems that run this game at beautiful quality. This is not that one. Um, but this game does look good. And due to some of the ranges, I'm unable to see um, at far ranges. And in that previous clip, you can kind of tell I was having a hard time finding the enemies. Even right here, once I ADS or came down the red dot, it's still kind of visually is hard to see kind of what's going on down there. It's hard to tell. And then I end up desyncing from this game, from this lobby, and I've done this every stinking time, and it's getting frustrating. I actually kind of called it quits after this and decided to make this video. And you can see that it's a little laggy here, and then it crashes as I'm rotating. Gunsmith, workbench, where and when? Please bring something a little bit more intuitive than that up here. And if it's already in the game, I just don't know about it. This is how I had to do some gunsmithing. I was basically turning this M4 into a quasi XM 177 type M4. It still has a removable carry handle, so it's not very XM 177-esque. But they do have this extended flash hider that they put on the M4s that you can use with, or that is used with the XM 177 from Vietnam. And it was kind of cool to make. I tried to get some content with it, but my game crashed and I lost connection to the server and subsequently lost the firearm. It would be cool for them to add like a insurance type system to this game. I know you can load back into your or go back into the AO with your chopper and go grab your gear again. However, if your game crashes, you have no way to recover that those items. And it would be cool if there was like a system where your body stayed in the zone, even if you've died multiple times. Because I ran in with a pistol and had like 5 AI rush me with the handgun, and I was unable to fight my way to my stuff because handguns in this game are very underpowered. I don't know why, but they don't do it. So yeah. Here on the range, I'm playing with this XM177, just kind of showing it off, you know, whatever. So these are the talking points that I was able to come up with. I wish I could have come up with more, but due to my lower end setup, I wasn't able to kind of play and test the game the way that I would like to do it. I do plan on getting a heavier duty PC. I just don't know kind of what that time frame is. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to get it on the laptop as much as possible. And I hope they optimize the game a little bit better, run a little bit better on lower end PCs. But until then, this is what we've got. Again, the servers are also a little wonky. Like, I couldn't load in to the US Central. I live in Texas. Felt like I should have been able to load in there without any issues. So I don't know why. Central servers were acting up, and it sounded like other people were having very similar issues. So I don't know if that's server related or my laptop related, because it would crash the entire game. So it might be laptop related, but it also may be server related. I'm not entirely sure, but I am enjoying this game so far, and I definitely recommend anybody to buy at least the base game. I did go ahead and pay for the big game, the $100 game, just because I wanted to give the studio the money so that they could go through and make this game as good as they could, because I definitely see potential in this game. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for sitting through this video. If you've made it this far, if you think I deserved it, please leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing to any one of my channels, whether it be Doane Tactical, Doane Motorsports, or Thought Night Gaming, which you're on right now. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.